take your game station to the next level and get some power some people might consider unnatural.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Now let's get the video started.
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. If you like this kind of content, if you like the Atari Gamestation, if you like retro stuff, make sure you like and subscribe. You know, hit that bell. Because YouTube is not too kind to me. I've said some things that are quite controversial sometimes. Maybe a little bit spicy. So, guys, check this out. Is this video gonna get me in trouble? I don't know. Who knows? But let's talk about the GameStation Go, a product that I am very happy with. I'm happy with my purchase, and I'm really happy that I'm able to add certain features to it that were not included with the original console. Guys, I wish this is something that, more companies would do. And as you can see, right here is a Sega Genesis, the first version of Shinobi, the one with all the hidden characters that shouldn't be on there, right? This is version 1 of Shinobi. And there's other things I can do here. And let me show you real quick. I'm really upset, because I prepared a video and it crashed on me. I was trying to render the video and it completely crashed because there's so many cutscenes and stuff that I wanted to put up there. I think this old laptop couldn't handle it, and I have some work stuff on my other laptop, so I'm just not able to do it, guys. I have today. I'm rushing. I have to turn some papers in for college, and I only have 3 weeks left. 3 weeks, baby, and it's all over. Regardless, guys, I want to show you what I've done here. And these are some of the folders. I don't know if you can see that. The NES is there. Game Gear, right? Believe it or not, the Game Gear is on here. And look, I have the Master System on here, of all things. And just so you can see it runs, let me go through it here. That's how long it takes to load. So after you select the game, it's Fantasy Star. Fantasy Star in Spanish for me. I'm bilingual, but you can download the English version if you like. For me, it's just nostalgia based. When I played this game back in the day, I played it in Spanish, right? So there's a versatility there. Now there's another feature that I want to tell you about, which is, let me take it back to the home screen, and I'm going to go back to the NES. And in the NES, if you have any digital downloads that you have purchased, you can actually play them on here. For example, for me, I have Maverick's Baghdad Extraction, the digital package, and I can even play a secondary game that's on there. There's 2 NES games on there. All your games have to have the .NES. And this is, let's see, Desert of the Undead. So this is running on the NES emulator that's already built on here. As you can see, it starts right up. You press the start button, and boom, you're in. It's great to run. All the NES games, as long as they're .NES, are able to run there. It's just easy as drag and drop. I backed up all my cartridges here, and some of the ones that I have over there that you can't see off camera. If you don't have access to your backups and you want these kind of powers, well, I can't tell you where to get them, but they're pretty easy to find, right? There's ROM sets out there for those of you who need to back up your games like I did, and you can out there and go out there and obtain these unnatural powers that I have on my unit. Now let me tell you how much it's cost me, right? My daughter was over at Staples, and I asked her, hey, can you get me some SD cards? She got me 3 32 gigabyte SD cards for $17. I just asked her, guess whatever's on sale, right? Because I just wanted to do it for the video. And here we go. And what have I added here? So far, I'm going to tell you that, as you saw in the promo that I did, I had the Turbo Graphics on there. I was playing Splatterhouse. And besides that, I have links for those of you who were asking me. Let me show you here. They were asking me, the orientation of the console. And let's load up Raiden here just so I could show you. and you can actually change the orientation, right, by pressing select. But you have to map the buttons though, because the way it maps it, it only does it this way, right, which your left and right would be down here, but your firing buttons are up here, right? I don't know if they could change it, if you can map it through the system. Guys, I'm very new at this, so if I can do it, you can do it out there. Now, how did I do it? It's very simple. You get your SD card, right, and you want to make sure it's formatted. They already come in FAT32, and I just plopped it in there. I created a folder called Games. Within the Games folder in the SD card, I created a subfolder for every console, and I just called it whatever the console is: Lynx, Genesis, Sega, whatever. And I put my backup files in there. Does it work for everything so far? No. Let me tell you, it looks like, and I don't know how to do this. I'm sure I'll read about it. I don't know if the community has solutions yet, but I'm just showing you what I was able to do as a novice, right? As a person that just went, and just looked at the internet and just did it, from what I found on there. So the way to do this is not at all complicated, right? And then you barely just hit the home button, and you can play Joust, you can do all kinds of things. The ColecoVision and Intellivision are not playable, at least with the type of files that I loaded on here, right? Nor the Jaguar, but TurboGrafx 5200, 7800. Let me show you here. 5200 Jungle Hunt, one of my favorite games. I love playing Jungle Hunt. I just selected it, and there it goes. I press start. Bam. You can only have so much fun, right? And you know what, guys? The beauty of this console for me is the control scheme, really. It's just that it's different. I mean, everything's the same nowadays. Every control scheme for all the consoles, for all the portables, the same button layout, the same buttons, everything's the same. This is different. A trackball, a spinner. Now, let me tell you, it's not all perfect. The spinner, I wish, worked with all the driving games, for example, and it doesn't. I'm sure there's going to be a solution from the community for this, because, that really would be great, unless they sell a separate controller. But a lot of the racing games, for example, you still use the D-pad instead of using the spinner, which I would, I just wish they would do that. Now, that was the 7800. No, that was the 5200. This is a 7800. Oh, look at this Roboton. It runs amazing. It really does. I don't know if it's going to be better with the other sticks, but it's just, I am super happy with the way this is handling all the retro games as far as I see anything that you throw it at, from, all the way up to the PlayStation 1, because I know the PlayStation 1 runs on this, but I haven't played it myself. I haven't gotten to it, and I probably won't get to it because I have 2 assignments due today. But yeah, and then you can add it to the library of 200 games that you already have. Now, let me tell you this, guys. When it comes to this, just as a person who owns thousands of games, let me tell you, less is more. If you're going to add to this library, add games that you love playing. Add games that you want to play. You can load entire libraries out there if you want, but it's not necessary. You're not going to play all the games. Nobody likes all the entire library of any system. But if you pick and choose what you love to play, this is just my word of advice. It'll make it more enjoyable, and really takes this portable to another level. The reason I bought this is to play those games that you can only play, with a spinner, and you can only play with a trackball, whether it's, Millipede, which I love playing, above Centipede. I know that's a hot take. If I wanted to play Tempest, the one thing that I wanted to load on here and I wasn't able to was Jaguar, because I wanted to play Tempest 2000, of course, just like everybody else. And I'm sure I'm going to find more solutions out there. But this really speaks to the flexibility that we have with this particular handheld, which is amazing, right? It really just takes it to another level where you can just customize what you want to play. You know, there's certain games in the Turbo Graphics, for example, that I want to play. There's certain games that are missing in the libraries that they provide to you from the 5200, 7800 that you want to add because you do want to play those, right? Some of the classics that aren't there. But, you know, most of all, what's making this machine enjoyable for me is not only the games that are included, but the fact that I'm able to modify it to my particular needs. I wish more companies would do that. Like, you know, even in the 3/4 arcade scene, they should make these machines where you could add stuff. You just saw the debacle, right, with WrestleFest and how the quality was terrible. You can't change the games. I mean, it's terrible, right? You have to spend more money to make that machine better. This, for me, worth every dollar. $179, less than $200 for what you get to do with what you get to play. And let me tell you, I'm a novice. I mean, I'm a novice when it comes to, you know, this emulation stuff and anything that I buy, really, guys. I don't have the time. 6 kids, 6 grandkids, school, work. I don't have the time. I buy stuff that's already done so I don't have to do it myself. But since there wasn't a solution yet, I tried this. But if something comes out, you know, officially from Atari with the Intellivision brand or the ColecoVision brand, or, you know, they do something like they do with, you know, the Evercade, you know, these kind of cartridges, you know, if they sell stuff like that, I'd be more than happy to buy it, right? Because I really don't want to be messing around with these things. But I think the inclusion and the capability that this has to play the PlayStation 1, once I figure it out, man, there are some bangers in there that I want to play. And the fact that you can add gigabytes of stuff, guys, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Needless to say, as I told you before, I'm happy with my purchase. I recommend it to you if you want to buy it for Christmas, if you want to have fun, you know, if you want to buy a handheld for under, you know, $200 and you're a retro gamer or you're a Gen Xer, you don't want to spend, you know, $500, $600 to get a proper, you know, Switch 2 setup, which I haven't bought. Unfortunately, I had to give it as a gift, right? But I wouldn't buy it for myself, not yet. There isn't anything on the Switch 2 that I have to say, I need to play this. But you know what? This is something different, right? Controlling things the old school way, the ability to use a trackball, the ability to use a spinner, for me, takes it to a whole nother level. Now, the other question a lot of you had is, can you use this as a paddleboard? Yeah, you can in some games, but I don't know if the paddleboard controller from Atari that they already have out, you know, they have that 4-pack for $39. I don't know if it works with this, but, you know, if it does, that's a plus. The two controllers that I've seen that are coming out that are for pre-order right now, it's a joystick and stuff like that. You know, they don't appear to have a paddle, right? So is that going to be something different? Another controller they're going to sell? I don't know at this point. But so far, guys, those are the very few things that I can tell you that, you know, are nitpicks, right? But overall, if you got the machine and you just got what's included, 200 games, that's already great. You're able to add pretty much anything you want, you know, up to the PS1. Hey, why not? I'm all for it. All right, guys, that is my video for today. And let me tell you, I got more coming. So stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Like, share, subscribe, comment, join if you can. All those things, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Get you one. Oh, you gotta get you one.